Welcome back to Better Living. I'm joined now by Dr. William James. He is here from the Armory Church. Let's talk about the Armory Church. You guys are looking to be a contemporary, casual, family, kind of an outreach church, aren't you?
Well, yes, we've been around for many years. 1952, my dad started the church, and we've sort of evolved. The Armory, the Bible talks about put on the full armor of God. We see our place as a training center, an equipping center. That was always in my dad's heart, the late Bishop William James. I'm William James II, so we're continuing the vision. So we see this as a time to redefine ourselves, but the vision is still love God, love one another, serve the world, and equip people for success.
By redefining yourselves, what does that look like? What does that redefining look like?
Well, we know now we're looking at where we are 21st century. You have all the iPads and the smartphones, and we have to be 21st century ready. So we're focusing on balance, I think it is right now. In most churches, we have to be careful because the personality of the pastor sort of dictates the flow. So if you're a worshiping kind of person or a fellowship person, you'll emphasize that. But it's balanced. We look at 5 purposes: worship, fellowship, ministry, discipleship, evangelism. That pretty much sums up everything that God wants us to do. So we're moving more into a balance. And how do you balance those purposes so that everybody can be fully devoted to Jesus Christ?
And it is difficult to balance those things, isn't it? You get lots of different personalities in a church, and some people like the traditional music, and that's what I have always found in church. You and I were just discussing, my dad's a minister. So I know, come at it from all angles, and music is such a defining thing for a church.
It's the dividing line.
It really
sure
is. Some people like something a little more contemporary. Some people want something traditional. It's really challenging sometimes.
It is, and what we try to do is we like to be contemporary, but we haven't forgot our traditional people. We have young people with middle-aged people, seniors, so we're really trying to balance that right now. We're doing it a pretty good job. So before I get up and speak, we may have some contemporary songs, and I tell our worship leader we need to take them to church. So we'll bring up a choir, we'll do some traditional songs. So that balance is looking pretty good right now.
That's a great way to do it. Let's talk about, you have some books coming out soon.
Well, right now I have a bestseller on Amazon right now. It's an ebook. I'm going to convert it to a print book. It's called Single Mothers Raising Sons in Fatherless Homes. I was fortunate enough to be raised with 2 parents that were present, but in my congregation I see a lot of that. In fact, single mothers is one of our #1 target groups, so I thought I would address that. And the book has gotten a lot of wonderful response, and people love it. You can go on Amazon and get it. And then next week, I'm working with Sustainable Local Foods here in Toledo. We're raising up healthy foods in the urban community, and we're providing jobs and opportunities. So I'll be dropping that book next week on Amazon. It's called Urban Gardening, and the subtitle is Growing Food, Opportunities, and Hope. So I'm really excited about that.
Those both, I think, are things that are real issues in our community. Do you feel like those are issues that not only you're addressing with your books, but that your church is also reaching out and addressing?
Absolutely, because our goal is to not just make a spiritual impact, but we want to make an existential impact. I can't talk about the love of God unless I can show it in practical ways. One of the things we do in our congregation is on every second Sunday, we like to bless our members with gas cards, gift cards, and on third Sunday we call it Outreach Sunday. Anybody who's visiting, we're going to give them something nice, not because we're trying to woo them in, but we just want to show the love of God in practical ways. So once a month we're doing something, paying down people's gas, helping people with utility. I mean, whatever we can do to show the love of God in practical ways, that's what we do.
I love it, because that's what matters to people, is that practical touch. Let's talk about, you've got something coming up this Saturday, don't you?
A lot happening. We have our kids with Santa and pancakes on the 13th. So from ages 0 to 10, you can come out and eat as much as you want. There's painting, there's pictures, Santa. And then on the 21st, our worship leader, Powerful God, Minister Derek Thomas is dropping his new CD called Peace on Earth. And we're going to have a major Christmas concert on the 21st of December at 7 p.m. The kids with Santa, that's going to be from 10 to 12. And then our New Year's Eve service is powerful. We usually bring churches together. That starts on New Year's Eve from 10 to 12.
Let's talk about, I think a lot of churches do that. And if they don't, they still have maybe a small gathering. How important is it for you to start off that new year in that frame of mind, in that reference of, you know, being together in that community and starting off the new year instead of
Well, I have a phrase. I say we're better together. I
Yes.
mean, we worship better together. We serve better together. When we can bring pastors together and we can just have a highly celebrative time, I think it positions us to know that in the beginning of 2015, it's really all about being nice and kind and loving. And when we can bring pastors and their congregations together, it just says, you know, we're not just these individual churches around the town, but at the end of the day, we're on the same page. We're just trying to show the love of God and be the people he's called us to be.
It's so important that everybody works together for that.
Yes,
if somebody wants more information about the Armory Church, how can they find that?
Well, they can go to our website, armorycity.org, or they can call us at 419-536-79736.
All right. The Armory Church providing practical ways, practical shows of love here in our community. They've got lots of stuff going on this holiday season, and they're starting the new year off right, and you can do that with them. We'll be right back on Better Living.